Can't find my way home. I was just laughing because I was listening to that song, Can't Find My Way Home by Steve Winwood, and it reminded me of a staffer who got drunk one night that was not super familiar with Columbus. And they were at a party downtown and walked home, but they walked the other direction and didn't realize they were not even close to home when they got to like Clintonville. So I played that for them the next day because I thought that was damn amusing that they in fact could not find their way home. They lost their phone. They couldn't get a Uber. It was just a comedy of errors. But those things happen, right? We've all been there, or at least we don't admit that we've all been there once or twice. How's everyone doing tonight? Happy Saturday night. You're probably out at a party because it's a Saturday night and it's Halloween pre-weekend. And yeah, I worked late and I just wasn't in the mood to go do things. So here I am in my studio, my lovely studio, 7 feet by 8 feet of glorious electronic bliss and lots of stuff. I did turn the heater off because it started right before I hit live. So we won't be interrupted by that. And if I pay enough attention, I won't get interrupted by the camera turning off. So I'm going to shoot for all the milestones tonight and not let anything screw up. How's that sound? All right. I have no bitches tonight. I did not go deal with the public in general, so I don't have any complaints about most human beings. I did drive, but there was no reckless endangerment. I got no complaints about people at the building. In general, I had a fairly I won't complain day. How's that? It's a gratitude day. Greetings, Todd. Not a repeat. I repeat, not at a party. Oh, Todd. Like me, we're solitude creatures. Apparently at the moment. All right. Well, welcome to the Randsanity, episode 147. It is 10/25/25, 1025 day. So this would have been a day we would have celebrated when we were the radio station at 102.5. So, because we would celebrate, the 101st day of the year, and that was usually April 9th or 10th. We'd get a proclamation by the mayor when it was CD 101. And then 10/25, we would do something on the 25th of October because it was, 10/25 day. So we always had to find something, you had to find any alliteration you could to have a party or hang out with a band or do whatever. There was always an excuse. Not that we needed one, but, it made it seem like, oh, here's our special day. We're going to do this because of that. So it's always something. Always something. We would find an occasion for celebration. Solitude can be a good thing. Yeah, I know. I try and remain that way because I'm a curmudgeon deep in heart. I just don't play one on TV. Anyway, let's start it off. Remember, no particular order. I'm going to jump from decade to decade. I'm going to avoid some things because I don't really care. And if you do, well, sorry. 1963, the Beatles officially kick off their first foreign tour abroad. Remember the other day we talked about them landing in Stockholm, Sweden, after driving themselves or driving to the airport. Like they drove themselves. But anyway, Screaming Girls took off for school and they were all waiting for them at the airport. It was a whole big to-do. Well, now they're actually there in Sweden and they play their first gig. They play 2 afternoon concerts at an elementary school in Karlstad, Sweden. Karlstad, Sweden. Yes. This I loved. The local critics said, luckily, there was all the screaming to drown out the terrible performance and sound of this band. Sir, you were not quoted, or I would have definitely said your name because you probably have that written on your wall somewhere or that's on your tombstone. I critiqued the Beatles and said they sucked. To each his own. It was your opinion back then. I get it. It's okay. You know, probably some people disagree with you. If you had done that today, you'd be just chased. You'd be chastised and fired and ridiculed and persecuted and doxxed and everything else. So good thing that was in 1963 and not 2025. 1964, our favorite weed-toting arrest mongers, the Rolling Stones, made their first appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show. A riot did break out at the show. You can watch the YouTube. They have the performance. So, I mean, it's just, you can hear the screaming, like the whole show, you hear the screaming girls. But anyway, they performed Chuck Berry's cover of Around and Around and their own hit, Time Is On My Side. Famously, Mr. Sullivan said, I promise you'll never be back on our show. Famously, he said that. They appeared 5 more times between 64 and 69. So, well, maybe they weren't like the Doors. They didn't completely blow it. They didn't cause the riot. The fans did. Come on, Ed. Let it go. Give it up. September 29th day. Right? Yes, there was that. But I don't celebrate 99 because that was just, you know, that's the one frequency I don't really celebrate there, Todd. So, sorry. The song was number 1 in the UK and number 1 in the US, as well as Germany and Canada. The 1965 Rolling Stones' Get Off of My Cloud was in response to their hit Satisfaction. Everyone was bugging them, going, when are you going to come up with Satisfaction? When are you going to follow up to Satisfaction? When is there going to be a follow-up to Satisfaction? And apparently Keith Richards was tired of hearing that. And when someone knocked on his door, he screamed at them, all right already, get off my cloud. He said in 1971. And that was the inspiration for the song, Get Off My Cloud. It also went on to be number 1. And it was released on this day. So they had their performance at Sullivan on this day in 64, and in 65 they released Get Off My Cloud. I butchered that segue. I know. It was brutal. My pen, I went through 3 pens tonight. The pen transition was bad tonight. My handwriting was sloppy. I had to go back through and find another pen. I burned through 1 pen. The second pen didn't work properly. And the third pen is just, it's okay, but it's one of these precise ones. So it writes like, you know, really, really pointy, and it's, so I'm more flowy when I'm writing. So it wasn't a flowy pen day. So sorry, I butchered that segue. It was bad. 1966. We'll move on. The Jimi Hendrix Experience released. Oh wait, no. Okay, there's 2 things. Right. So in 1966, the Jimi Hendrix Experience played their first UK gig at a private showcase at the Scotch of St. James in London. Also on this day, many years later, not really, only 2, because Jimi Hendrix wasn't around that long. 1968, Jimi Hendrix Experience released their double album, Electric Ladyland. It was also available as 2 albums with changed artwork after complaints about the album sleeve had naked ladies on it. Now, the female models were paid $10 to go ahead and be the models for the sleeve. They were paid another $10 if they would do it fully naked. I mean, $20 is $20, right? Don't take that the wrong way. 1994, see, 66, 94, Joni Mitchell released Turbulent Indigo, her 15th LP, and it won the Best Pop Album Grammy of that year. Good old Joni Mitchell. That's someone I've never seen. I've never seen Joni Mitchell. I tried to go back and look, and I'm like, have I ever seen her at a festival? I don't think I've ever seen Joni Mitchell, and I think I would have liked to, but that's one of the artists I don't think I ever saw. Well, I mean, I didn't see the Beatles or Elvis either, but that was also before my time. or Jimi Hendrix. 1995, British pop singer Cliff Richards receives the first knighthood bestowed upon a rock star. He is Knight Cliff Richards. Knighted at Buckingham Palace by Queen Elizabeth II, 37 years to the day, October 25th, 1958, he had his BBC radio debut. So that's a fun anniversary present. Today was my 37th anniversary of debuting on the radio, and I am now Knight Cliff Richard. Sir Cliff Richard to you, commoners. 2010, Taylor Swift, Album of the Year. That's all we get. At least I didn't just say Taylor Swift and move on. Ooh, 2022, German sportswear manufacturer Adidas cuts all ties with American rapper and fashion designer, question mark, fashion designer? Really? I'm just going to go with American rapper. Kanye West, over anti-Semitic remarks he made in interviews and on his social medias. I remember that. That was good old, yeah. Kanye, what up with that, man? Just, bro, seriously. I mean, that was some stuff. Back to 1978. 1978, on this day, the 25th of October, is the anniversary of the release of John Carpenter's first edition of Halloween, starring Jamie Lee Curtis. I remember watching that at some point and being like, Jason Voorhees. 1968, Led Zeppelin played their first gig, supposedly, even though there are rumors, unconfirmed rumors, that this first gig, it was not the first gig as Led Zeppelin in England. But the reports earlier that there are earlier shows, but it appears that this is the first time that they actually played a gig as Led Zeppelin. They were touted as the New Yardbirds, but changed their name. There was a poster found for this particular show, 1968, October the 25th, for the New Yardbirds, but supposedly the claim that they called themselves Led Zeppelin while on stage. That's what I'm going to go with. But today was the day that Led Zeppelin was born. 1969, since we already did the whole Jimi Hendrix thing. 1969, the Archies, Sugar Sugar, the single was #1 in the US and the UK. It stayed there for 8 weeks. 8 weeks. And it sold 6 million singles. These are 45s. So it sold 6,045,000 copies. The whole rock group was based on a comic book characters. So, I mean, that's just, okay. Somebody got the bright idea to write the song and, oh, damn it. I was paying attention. Really was. I was watching. I was looking, but no, still. Even though I'm looking, it doesn't matter. It's so small. It's kind of right in the little corner there. And if I don't really see it, my eyeglasses are dirty. Oh, Jesus. How do I even see out this? Do you see all the fingerprints and dust? No wonder. I'll blame it on a dirty lens. It's totally what it was. There was a spot on the lens. That's what did it. Oh, there you are. Now I can see you. Now see, it's supposed to go 20 minutes, but it's only been 14 minutes and 38 seconds. So I must have turned the camera on early and didn't realize it. So it sat vacant for a couple minutes. That's probably what it is. I try and turn on the exact thing. So I was going for 20 minutes. You going to buy that one, Todd? 1970. 1970. Ah, the 70s. Speaking at a U.S. radio conference, then President I'm Not a Crook Nixon asked all programmers of all radio stations in the U.S. to ban all songs that contained any drug references. I'm betting there was a lot. I don't think that happened. I don't think everyone was like, sure, Dick, got it. We're on it. We're just going to go ahead and ban every song that has any drug reference. Puff the Magic Dragon lived by the sea. Yeah, no, I don't think they banned any of that. 1975, Art Garfunkel, #1 UK singles. 1980, Barbra Streisand, #1 album US. There you go. That's as far as I get with them. I didn't care. 1985, the UK TV show The Tube, broadcast live from its Tyne Tree Studios in Newcastle, England, had the lineup of Tom Waits, REM, and the Smiths. I was trying to find that because I'm like, yeah, I want to see that. I want to see the lineup of Tom Waits, REM, and the Smiths all in the same studio together. I was like, man, that's a bit of an eclectic mix if you've ever had. 1986, Bon Jovi went to #1 on the U.S. album chart with Slippery When Wet. Good old Bon Jovi. 2 #1 singles came out of that. You Give Love a Bad Name and Living on the Prayer. It goes on to sell 8 million copies worldwide. Not bad for a New Jersey kid, right? Bon Jovi. In 1986, the first time in Billboard history of the Hot 100, the top 3 slots are all occupied by solo female artists. #1 was Cyndi Lauper with True Colors. #2 was Tina Turner with Typical Male. And #3 was Janet Jackson, When I Think of You. Interesting combo of 1, 2, and 3. Cyndi Lauper with True Colors. Okay, interesting. 1989, Nirvana and Tad. Now remember, you have to go and look at the Wikipedia, just Wikipedia Tad Band, TADBAND, Tad Band, and look at the picture, okay? The lead singer, his name is Tad Doyle, all right? So that's why it's called Tad. I read all about Tad Doyle. He played like, he had to put the band together because he was playing like the guitar, the drums, the piano, he was playing everything. And then realized, oh, if I'm actually going to do anything, I have to like get a band behind me to tour. But yes, the picture of Tad Doyle is it's just one of those perfect, angry, like, alternative rock guys that you're like, yeah, everybody knows that guy. I know someone, I picture him just like, it's you. You're exactly that guy right there, Tad Doyle. But anyway, the Nirvana and Tad opened in the Duchess of York in Leeds, England. The 2 acts on their 3rd night of their debut European tour. Tad. Oh, 1997, after falling over while on stage at a gig in Michigan, while attempting to pick up a guitar pick, Johnny Cash announced that he was diagnosed and suffering with Parkinson's disease. Oh, Johnny. On the same sad note, 6 years later, Cash's stepdaughter, Rosie Nix Adams, and her fiddle player, Jimmy Campbell, were found dead on their tour bus in Clarksville, Tennessee. The culprit was carbon monoxide poisoning. Apparently, they had heaters that they left on overnight in the bus, and the 2 did not awaken afterwards. Yeah. It's kind of a cash legacy right there. 1999, Santana topped the U.S. album chart with Supernatural. The massively popular, went on to win 8 Grammys, and it spent 12 non-consecutive weeks at the number 1 spot. Good job, Carlos. Okay. In 2001, 6 years after the lead singer of the Grateful Dead, Jerry Garcia, he still had 13 law firms involved with the litigation over his $10 million estate and $4.6 million monthly royalty checks. Former wives and girlfriends continued to fight as of how to distribute the estate and the royalties. 13 law firms fighting over, millions. But I was like, wait, 13 law firms? So wives and girlfriends. I'm like, okay, if that's a law firm per, so he had between wives and girlfriends, he had 13 of them? What was he, Mormon? I didn't realize Jerry Garcia was so popular. I mean, even if he had 2 per, that's 6. Still, no wonder they're fighting over it. Oh, dead celebrity money. Michael Jackson leading at the year 2020 to 2021. Michael Jackson lead with $145 million. Elvis Presley had $55 million. And Bob Marley had $17 million. All of this according to Forbes and the dead celebrity money grab. In 2022, the number 1 band on the UK chart was the 1975. It was their 5th album, Being Funny in a Foreign Language. It was number 1 in Australia, number 7 in the US, and it was nominated for the 2023 Brit Awards. I always liked the 1975. We had them in the big room like 4 or 5 times. I remember the one time they were only allowed to do black and white photos. That was a fun one. I think it was the very first time we were there. I used to have a guitar that was smashed by him backstage at a show. I just called their tour manager. He's that big British bald guy. Exactly what you would think you would see. He was like, "Oi, mate, what you doing?" You would just, love that. But yes, 1975. So, all right. And then let's see who was born today. Okay, it's a long list. I'm just going to roll through it. All right. Picasso. Hey, Pablo Picasso had to be born on some day. So he was born October 25th. Helen Reddy was born on today. I Am Woman, Hear Me Wrong. Helen Reddy. John Anderson from the band Yes did Roundabout. Kathy Taffy Danoff, Starland Vocal Band, Afternoon Delight. Everybody knows that song because it's been popular in every movie under the sun. Glenn Tipton, the guitar player of Judas Priest. Chrissy Amphlett of the Divinals, I Touch Myself. Chad Smith, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Ed Robertson, Bare Naked Ladies. Katy Perry. Nancy Cartwright. Bart Simpson, basically. And she's from Dayton, Ohio. Didn't know that. Yes, Bart Simpson is a girl, and she's from Dayton, Ohio. So, who knew? Eat my shorts, man. And Craig Robinson of The Office, Hot Tub Time Machine. That guy, Craig Robinson. I forget, he was in a movie that was really funny where he was Satan. I don't forget the movie that it was, though. But it was pretty amusing. And who did we lose on this day? We lost Vincent Price. Vincent Price was an old, haunted movie guy. House on Haunted Hill was a really famous one. I always liked Vincent Price. It was all black and white movies. Richard Harris, actor Richard Harris, but he was also a musician. He had a couple of number 1s and number 2s, but he was more famous for being in the movies. But he also married Liz. I think he was one of the 16 husbands of Elizabeth Taylor. Jack Bruce of Cream, Weight Room. He did that. Phil Lesh of the Grateful Dead. We got to meet Phil. He was super nice. He sang Box of Rain. He co-founder of the Grateful Dead, speaking of. We lost him just last year, I think, in 2024. So that's all of it. That's the stuff. September's been a little toward the end. September, October, it's a little bit thin. I'm not sure. Maybe this is a weird time for bands to tour or what. It seems there's a lot. I don't have to pick and choose. There's not a lot of fat in there. We keep looking, and then births and deaths as well. So, like I said, go back 9 months and train. Now, see, goes September, August, July, June, May, April, March. Oh, that's why. It's the cold months. It's January. People are hunkered down, and they're just not having a lot of babies just yet. I'm sure they'll get right back to it. Get spring fever, So maybe next month will be February, and then March or January we'll have lots of babies. Something like that. I don't know. I'm just making shit up as I go along at this point. That's all I can do. All right. So tomorrow I will be down at the radio station building at 12:30 for the open house. This is what the auction dude told me. We're having an open house on Sunday. I'm like, the fuck we are? Apparently we are. So I've got to get down there tomorrow at like 8 o'clock in the morning and go move stuff because it's a disaster. I also have to figure out a way to get electricity to get the generator work and blah, blah, blah. So if you're so inclined, come on down. We'll get a cup of coffee because Starbucks is next door. I'll probably be, by the time 12:30 hits, I'll be on my fourth double espresso. So I should be sufficiently wired at that point. So just look for the guy who's in the corner tweaking away what? Don't touch stuff. It's all mine. Precious. And it all gets sold. What are you going to do, right? That's how it goes. At some point, we all have to, can't take it with us. So I'm just, I'm reconditing this shit. Does it bring me joy? Apparently not anymore. Anyway, I'm going to, I found a new binge, The Diplomat. I started binging that last night. So The Diplomat, that's going to be my new binge. I'll tell you all about it. It seems like it's pretty good so far. Kind of a little intrigue, a little drama. Better than some of the crap that's on. And I can't watch the news anymore, so that's all. Thank you. Appreciate you greatly. Have a stupendous Sunday. Get some breakfast. Have a lovely day. Enjoy the day off. And we'll do this all again, but completely different tomorrow night. I'm sure I'll be in a very fun mood. I'm sure I'll have all sorts of stories about tomorrow because there's no way I can't. Be well, be grateful, and behave. Fade to black. Thank you.